Default value of control_file_keep_record_time is 7 days. Explain how RMAN works internally when you are running RMAN database backup. Let's say you connected as RMAN to target DB and run backup database. RMAN target / RMAN backup database. RMAN makes the Booth connection with the target database. It then connect to internal database user sys.rman and spawn multiple channel as mentioned in script. Then RMAN make a call to sys.dbms_command to reuse database schema information from control file, like data file info SCN. After getting the data file list, it prepare for backup.to guarantee consistency. It either builds or refreshes the snapshot control file. Now RMAN make a call to sys.dbms_backup_restore package to create backup pieces. If control file auto backup is set to on, then it will take backup of file and contra file to backup set. During backup, data file blocks are read into a set of input buffers, where they are validated /compressed /encrypted and copied to a set of output buffers. The output buffers are then written to backup pieces on either disk or tape, device type disk or SBT. RMAN full database started at 5 a.m., while it is still running at 30 a.m., a new data file has been added. The backup completed at 6 a.m. So will the new data file will be part of this RMAN backup set? No, it will not be added in the RMAN backup. Backup. What are the different phases of RMAN backup? Read phase A channel reads blocks from disk into input I/O buffers. Copy phase A channel copies blocks from input buffers to output buffers and performs additional processing on the blocks. Write phase A channel writes the blocks from output buffers to storage media. The write phase can take either of the following mutually exclusive forms, depending on the type of backup media. For who updates the block change tracking file, BCT, and how it does. CTWR background process updates the block change tracking file. Let's say I have taken a full backup at 5 a.m. And after 2 hours, 7 a.m., I added 2 data files. And now at 9 a.m., the DB crashed / corrupted. So I need to restore / recover the database. Can I use the full backup to restore / recover the database including those data files which were added later? Yes, we will restore the full backup, then recover using the archive logs to the current point. How can I recover from undue block corruption? First you need to find which data file and block is corrupted. $database_block_corruption, and then connect with RMAN and run block recover command. What is the relation between large pool size and RMAN backup? The documentation notes that RMAN allocates the tape buffers in the SGA or the PGA, depending on whether I/O slaves are used, and whether backup_tape_IO_slaves is set to true. If you set the initialization parameter backup_tape_IO_slaves equals true, then RMAN allocates tape buffers from the SGA or the large pool if the large_pool_size initialization parameter is set. If you set the parameter to false, then RMAN allocates the buffers from the PGA. If you use I/O slaves, then set the large_pool_size initialization parameter to set aside SGA memory dedicated to holding these large memory allocations. Hence, the RMAN I/O buffers do not compete with the library cache for SGA memory. How can we take RMAN cold backup? If the database is no archive log mode, then also you can start up the database in mount stage and take backup. Suppose someone dropped a table mistakenly in production database. What will be your immediate action plan to recover that table? DBAs get fired for dropping production tables, so act quickly. DDL like drop table cannot be rolled back, and you have lost your recycle bin. But you still have several options for recovering a dropped table. Data pump exports. If you care about the data in this table, you would have exported it nightly. RMAN, you can recover a single drop table by restoring the entire database into your test environment using RMAN, and then roll forward. You can then extract the table and copy it from test to production using CTAS over a database link and then re-add the indexes and constraints. LogMiner, Oracle LogMiner can use to recover a dropped table. See here, the steps to recover a dropped table using LogMiner. Flashback. It's easy to recover a drop table with these steps in Flashback. What is backup optimization in RMAN? RMAN backup optimization is another feature to minimize backup size. Enabling this feature, RMAN backup will skip backup of files that comes in certain condition or exactly identical to the file already backup up. As the name indicates, the feature is for optimizing the RMAN backups. When you turn on this backup optimization parameter, RMAN skips the backing up the files which has already been backed up to the same device. The main benefit out of this is it will reduce the unwanted space usage. This is how the RMAN determines the identical files for different categories. Below mentioned are the only applicable categories of files. Data file must be offline normal or read-only or closed normally, with same DBA ID, checkpoint SCN, creation SCN and reset logs SCN in time as a data file already in the backup. Archived log, the file must be with same DB ID, thread, sequence number and reset logs SCN in time. Backup set, the file must be with same DB ID, backup set record ID and timestamp. Below are the criteria when RMAN check which files can be skipped from the backup. In case of data file, RMAN compares the DB ID, checkpoint SCN, creation SCN, and reset logs SCN in time as a data file already in a backup. If they are identical, then skip to take backup again. In case of archive redo log, RMAN compares thread, sequence number, and reset logs SCN in time. In case of backup set, RMAN compares resid and stamp. By default, the backup optimization will be turned off. You have to use following command to enable the same. RMAN configure backup optimization on. What O/S and Oracle user privilege required to use RMAN? RMAN always connect to the target or auxiliary database using the SIS-DBA privilege. In fact, the SIS-DBA keywords are implied and cannot be explicitly specified. Its connections to a database are specified and authenticated in the same way as SL*+ connections to a database. The O/S user should be part of the DBA group. For remote connection, it needs the password file authentication. Target database should have the initialization parameter remote_login_PSSWORDFILE set to exclusive or shared. RMAN terminology. A target database, an Oracle database to which RMAN is connected with the target keyword. A target database is a database on which RMAN is performing backup and recovery operations. RMAN always maintains metadata about its operations on a database in the control file of the database. A recovery catalog, a separate database schema used to record RMAN activity against one or more target databases. A recovery catalog preserves RMAN repository metadata if the control file is lost, making it much easier to restore and recover following the loss of the control file. The database may overwrite older records in the control file, but RMAN maintains records forever in the catalog unless deleted by the user. Backup sets. RMAN can store backup data in a logical structure called a backup set, which is the smallest unit of an RMAN backup. One backup set contains one or more data files, a section of data file or archive logs. Backup piece. A backup set contains one or more binary files in an RMAN-specific format. This file is known as a backup piece. Each backup piece is a single output file. The size of a backup piece can be restricted. If the size is not restricted, the backup set will comprise one backup piece. Backup piece size should be restricted to no larger than the maximum file size that your file system will support. Image copies. An image copy is a copy of a single file, data file, archive log, or control file. It is very similar to an O/S copy of the file. It is not a backup set or a backup piece. No compression is performed. Snapshot control file. When RMAN needs to resynchronize from a read-consistent version of the control file, it creates a temporary snapshot control file. The default name for the snapshot control file is port-specific. Database incarnation. Whenever you perform incomplete recovery or perform the recovery using a backup control file, you must reset the online redo logs when you open the database. The new version of the reset database is called a new incarnation. The reset database command directs RMAN to create a new database incarnation record in the recovery catalog. This new incarnation record indicates the current incarnation. RMAN configuration. What is RMAN configuration and how to configure it? The RMAN backup and recovery environment is pre-configured for each target database. The configuration is persistent and applies to all subsequent operations on this target database, even if you exit and restart RMAN. RMAN configured settings. Can specify backup devices, configure a connection to a backup device, policies affecting backup strategy, encryption algorithm, snapshot control file location, and others. By default, there are some default configurations are set when you log into RMAN. You can customize them as per your requirement. Anytime you can check the current setting by using the Show All command. Configure command is used to create persistent settings in the RMAN environment, which apply to all subsequent operations, even if you exit and restart RMAN. How to check RMAN configuration? RMAN Show All. How to reset to default configuration? To reset the default configuration setting, use connect to the target database from SL+ and run SL connect at target_database. SL execute dbms_backup_restore.reset config. RMAN catalog database. What is catalog database and how to configure it? This is a separate database which contains catalog schema. You can use the same target database as the catalog database, but it's not at all recommended. How many catalog database I can have? You can have multiple catalog database for the same target database. But at a time you can connect to only one catalog database via RMAN. It's not recommended to have multiple catalog database. Is this mandatory to use catalog database? No. It's an optional one. What is the advantage of catalog database? Catalog database is secondary storage of backup metadata. It's very useful in case you lost the current control file, as all the backup information are there in the catalog schema. Secondly, from control file, the older backup information are aged out. Depending upon the control_file_record_keep_time. RMAN catalog database maintains the history of data. What is the difference between catalog database and catalog schema? Catalog database is like any other database which contains the RMAN catalog user schema. What happens if catalog database lost? Since the catalog database is an option one, there is no direct effect of loss of catalog database. Create a new catalog database and register the target database with the newly created catalog one. All the backup information from the target database current control file will be updated to the catalog schema. If any backup information which is aged out from the target database, then you need to manually catalog those backup pieces. RMAN backup. What are the database files that RMAN can backup? RMAN can backup control file, data files, archive logs, standby database contra file, SP file. What are the database files that RMAN cannot backup? RMAN cannot take the backup of the file, redo logs, network configuration files, password files, external tables, and the contents of the Oracle home files. Can I have archive logs and data file backup in a single backup set? No, we cannot put data files and archive logs in the same backup set. Can I have data files and control file backup in a single backup set? Yes. If the control file auto backup is not on, then RMAN takes the backup of control file along with the data file one. Whenever you take the backup of the database or system table space, can I regulate the size of backup piece and backup set? Yes. You can set the max size of the backup set as well as the backup piece. By default, one RMAN channel creates a single backup set with one backup piece in it. You can use the max piece size channel parameter to set limits on the size of backup pieces. You can also use the maxit size parameter on the backup and configure commands to set a limit for the size of backup sets. What is the difference between backup set backup and image copy backup? A backup set is an RMAN-specific proprietary format, whereas an image copy is a bit-for-bit copy of a file.